Let's talk briefly about application considerations for photoelectric sensors. Some of the things you might want to consider or actually need to consider when you're looking at a photosensor, temperature extremes. Are you in a real cold environment or a real hot environment? Most of the sensors have a temperature rating. You have to make sure that it meets the requirement of the area you're trying to put it in. Dirt and grime, that relates to the margin capability, how much light's going to get back, how often you need to clean that sensor. The accumulation of dust on it, if it's a real dusty environment, am I going to have to make it a standard operating procedure to clean it every hour or every shift, every week? It just depends on the environment. Moisture, NEMA 1, 4, 4X, 6P, 12 or 13. Now there's IP ratings, IP69 for almost a real heavy washdown rating. Are there any mounting restrictions? Do I need compatibility to a variety of machines? Is it a hazardous location? Maybe an explosion-proof sensors required. Supply voltage, 120, 24, 12. Is it AC or DC? What type of output? Is it digital, just a discrete on-off, or is it an analog that takes that I need a 4 to 20 milliamp or maybe a 0 to 10 volts on the output? What type of device am I trying to control with that? Am I sending a signal to a PLC? Am I turning on a light? Am I moving a conveyor? What am I doing with that signal? How much output current do I need? Most of these sensors typically are electronic devices, so it's in the hundreds of milliamps that the output current that they can handle. So you've got to consider that. I might have to interface it with a relay if I'm hard wiring like that. If I'm going to a PLC, I might have to have a relay output on my PLC depending on how much current I'm trying to control. Another thing about current, leakage current out of the device. Is that enough to not allow my PLC to shut off when it's supposed to? Sometimes the PLC can see leakage current as an input depending on the manufacturer of the PLC. Logic requirements, do I need timing in the sensor of some kind? Application requirements, response time. Does it have to be high speed? Am I looking at a bunch of targets running down a conveyor really fast where I've got to be able to switch back and forth from off to on, back to off, and back on again really, really quickly? That would be a response time issue. Do I have shiny objects that maybe would give me false signals? Do I need a polarized sensor? Are there unintended targets in the area where I might be getting reflection from, adjacent objects or whatever? Clear objects like bottles can present multiple inputs sometimes on a sensor. So those are some of the considerations you need to think about when you're getting ready to specify a photoelectric sensor.